All right, give it up for Lydia Labelle Rios from the USDA Forest Service.
Boy, I don't know how to follow those guys. Some amazing folks. Baesha pa ende con e. Buenos días. Es un honor y un placer para estar aquí con ustedes hoy. Gracias, GlenX, para la invitación. I just said the first part, Baesha pa ende con e, is Guarani. It's an indigenous language from South America. And that meant good morning, how are you? And then I said, good morning. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you guys today. And thank you to GlenX for having me. So as it was mentioned, I'm Lydia Labelle Rios. I'm a rangeland manager for the United States Forest Service. I absolutely love my job. I love being outdoors. I'm horseback half the time. I work with ranching families and I manage public grazing. And I love it. I'm learning something every day. But how did I get here, right? And everyone's telling their story, and really I'm just gonna share some nuggets, some of these nuggets that they've been sharing with you today. I'm gonna share some of mine and share my story. And you're all building your story right now. And every year is a chapter in your story. And I'm so excited for you guys. Mine's been fun as well. So, grew up in a little state, Vermont, up in New England, near New York. I was one of 9 children. And I'm the baby girl, number 8. And my dad was in the Navy and my mom was a stay-at-home mom. But the cool thing I want to share is being the baby of 9, I was afforded some opportunities that my older brothers and sisters didn't get. So my parents allowed me to dance from a young age, and so I started tumbling and ballet and tap and jazz. But what it did for me, my nugget that I want to share with you, is what it did for me is it allowed me to build the confidence that I needed for the future. So my message to you is do something that you're good at. If you're not doing it already, find it, do it. Because I know oftentimes we're inspired by our friends. Oh, I really want to do what they're doing. Oh, they're really into music, I want to do that. Or they're into this, I want to do that. Or sports or whatever. But do what it is that you love to do and spend time doing it. That's going to build your confidence, what you're good at. So that's one of my nuggets. So hardships. We all have hardships in life. A chapter in my life, my family moved. How many people have had to move, whether it's from state to state? Town to town, country to country in some cases, right? It's hard. It's hard to do, isn't it? So hardships. Hardships, for me, that was definitely something frustrating. But hardships also, another nugget, bring you from ordinary to extraordinary. So remember, hardships bring you from ordinary to extraordinary. So for me, moving was hard, and guess what? It was in my junior year. I was really frustrated. Pretty defiant and stubborn, and I quit school in my junior year. I quit. So I was going to go to work, do my thing. I got this. I've got it figured out. I don't need anybody. I know what I'm doing. 17, face the world. I got this. It wasn't too long, maybe a few years, that I realized I keep gravitating to education. I do want to learn. I do love to learn. And I was doing all these great jobs. I was learning some interesting things, but I kept going back to, and I was doing well in school. When I left, what was the reason? So I went back. I got my GED, went off to a community college, learned a lot about myself. And I went from Vermont, and I moved to Colorado. So another really cool thing, another cool nugget, when you go, you grow. I'm going to say that again. When you go, you grow. I'm now in the West from the East. I'm learning all kinds of things about a new way of doing things, perspectives, attitudes, all kinds of stuff. And that can be from country to country, state to state, town to town. You can learn something so much from other folks. And so ultimately, I finished my degree at Colorado Mountain College. Some of you guys know it. And I was taking kayaking and rock climbing, and I was a ski instructor and did all kinds of fun things. And I went to the Forest Service, and I worked there for a summer. Fell in love with it. They encouraged me to go back to Colorado State University, and that's where I got my education, my bachelor's in rangeland management. I was an ecologist. I wasn't even that great in math and science that I remember. I did okay in school, in high school, but I didn't remember being especially great in math and science. And here I was an ecologist. How awesome was that? So I felt really excited about that. And then, even more so, I stepped into a master's. What was I thinking? High school dropout, and here I am with a master's. It was awesome. And I was in watershed science, and that's a hard program. And I did it. And I was pretty, it was an amazing ride. But you know, Peace Corps, a big part of that was Peace Corps. I don't know how many people have heard of Peace Corps and what it is. Okay, well, I will share that with you when you come by me to see me today, okay? So out there, come by and see me and I'll tell you more about what it is. But essentially, I lived in another country for 2 years. I lived without electricity, running water. I delivered a baby. And I was basically the go-to person for an entire community. And I learned 2 other languages, so now I speak 3 languages. It opened up my mind, it opened up my perspective, and it really made me self-aware. And I really did some of my most deepest learning alone. And it was hard, away from family, friends, but I learned so much. And so I married my husband. I met my husband there and have 2 wonderful boys and ended up with the Forest Service. And it's a wonderful, wonderful agency and group to work with. And here on the White River, we have 2.5 million acres, and we have 300,000 just out of the Rifle District. And I just absolutely love what I do. And so my nuggets for you, remember, nurture that confidence now and embrace those hardships that you go through, right? And then also, remember, when you go, you grow. So dive in, stay motivated, challenged, and take those opportunities every day. Éxito. Success to you. Gracias.
I'm not playing with that. Thank you, Lydia. That was fascinating. You have very impressive language skills. I absolutely loved your story. Have to switch to new note card. Anyway, all of these stories have been absolutely amazing, and I thank you, each of you, for sharing your time with us. A round of applause for all of our speakers.